holly and pine and rose hips in deep greens and garnets, tied up with a crimson ribbon and brass sleigh bells. Those bells seem to be figuring prominently in my holiday this year. Go ahead and jingle your little bags together one more time. That's the spirit. All right. But then my eye wandered down the page to these words from Agnes M. Farrow. "What is Christmas?" she writes. "It is a tenderness for the past, courage for the present, hope for the future. It is a fervent wish that every cup may overflow with blessings rich and eternal, and that every path may lead to peace." I picked up 2 boxes of the Artists to Watch Christmas cards, the sentiment feeling like exactly what I wanted to express to loved ones far and near. Tenderness, courage, hope, blessings, and peace. Tenderness because the not-so-distant past has left us feeling a little raw, exposed. Courage, because the present keeps asking of us just one more and one more and one more thing, so as to leave us faint of heart. Hope, because believing it will be different in due time can be a soothing balm. Believing requires hope of us. Blessings, those gifts from the universe that grace our lives and carry us through whatever is looming ahead. Peace is the destination, inner peace, peace in our lives and our world, that calm sense of knowing where every breath is easy and fills us again and again. Woven around and through it all is a love that illumines the way, drawing us ever closer. It is the ribbon and the bells. When I think about the Christmas story, this is the thread that winds itself about us, no matter how we actually tell it. The love of kin that calls us on a journey, setting aside our own troubles to be present to another, willing to risk so that they might not have to go it alone. The selflessness of it, the courage. The love that dwells deep within our hearts, our center, and our source. It is a sacred thing that comes to life, sparking pleasure and joy, a fierce and protective thing, but delicate too. We are the love in our world, in the lives of a stranger seeking shelter from a foreign land, of those in our midst who need an outstretched hand, to hear a gentle voice. We carry it with us all the time. It waits for us to breathe fullness into it, to be the blessing. Love, an assurance that we are accompanied, held, and that it's simply going to be okay. We take a chance, follow a star, some gleaming, wished-upon thing, and we find a truth where its light lands that comforts and heals, touched by tenderness. Love that trusts our better instincts and sends us on a path we hadn't expected, ensuring peace. For all the Sunday afternoons of Advent, a group of us have gathered to consider its themes, some of them repeated in Farrow's words, some not, although I hear their intention in them. Hope, peace, joy, love, recurring notions in a time of waning light and long, dark nights. I watched the moon rise this past week, though, full and round, the promise of the sun just around the horizon, if only we can wait. Through the trees, the rays lit up the woods. This is the season for waiting, and it has become the byword of our times. So much set aside until the dawn brings warmth and brilliance and freedom back into our lives. We reach inward and receive, prepare ourselves for the coming of gentler days. We shared about love just last week in the group, both the richness and the simplicity of it, how we experience it with all of our senses, are aware of it in the give and take of our interconnected universe. We know it in its helpless side, too, the heartbreak that can only come when deep love exists. It is a grounding thing in our lives, this love that we encounter and celebrate when we are open to it. We affirm it every time we come together, the spirit of this place. At its best, it is the guiding principle in our interactions here and elsewhere, and it provides a foundation for the good work that springs forth from our imaginations in our efforts to heal the world we live in. It undergirds our mission. Love wears many disguises, the poet says. And I wonder how it comes to you. If we can parse out all these pieces of what makes love alive for us. There is a natural inclination toward it, to be it, and to receive it, if we let ourselves. The tenderness we feel toward those who are hurting, the courage to rise up and speak its truth, the hopefulness with which we gift one another as we accompany those we care for on this journey. It is a choice to turn a phrase in this direction, to choose to bless and be blessed with a greater love, fervently, with all the strength we have. Can we muster some joy to soften the harshness of realities come to bear on our lives? Find it in the sweet smile of an infant, the songs of wild birds, the gift of giving itself. Is there a peace that calls to us from deep within and beyond, both at once? Love is waiting for us in all of its garb. And this is what I hear in the Christmas story. Let us in. Let us in. In the bleakest of times, love and all its component parts made itself known in the life of a pregnant teen and her partner, crossing desert lands, arriving in a questionable location with little in the way of welcome and facing threats of a despot ruler. Made itself known to simple shepherds who believed in the potential of a story that had been told about hope and a changing world. Showed itself in the kindness of gift-bearing strangers with saving messages of warning. And hers was to let it all in, to allow love to show up where least expected, in whatever shape or form it may have shifted into on any given day. To wait and notice, to open the heart and to trust love to do its magic within. To mull it over, but mostly to receive it. So here is my message for us this year. Let it in. Let all of it in. All the tenderness and hopefulness you encounter, let them be the calming and soothing balm you need. All the courageous acts and fierce displays of love that let you know there is a way through. The blessings wrought upon you by the simplest and most magnificent occurrences, catching you off guard and bestowing delight upon your soul. The peacefulness that wells up in the presence of what you suddenly recognize as holy. And when it looks the least likely, trust that love can still be found hiding beneath the surface. Let us in, they say. And ours is to create a space for all of it, to make a home within and around us, where love can rest a while. Would you join me now in a spirit of prayer? O great love, mystery that weaves its way into our hearts and lives, more than ever in these days, we need to feel a reassuring presence, to know that there is love enough to overcome the challenges we face, love enough to bring healing to our world. As we open ourselves to the countless faces that love shows up with, may we let down our guard long enough to trust in its power. May we find in every encounter a tiny spark of love to rekindle our tired embers, setting us aglow once more. In days to come, when we are full and others not, may we be vessels of such love, poured out freely, our offering of gratitude and peace. May love abound as we gather with family and friends over this Christmastide. May it be in our hearts and on our tongues. May it walk with us in every step. And may we know ourselves its home. Blessed be, and amen.